Welcome to the Windy City Benders podcast, presented by Beer League Talk with your hosts, Nolly, Poetzy, Jarom, and Tanner.
Okay.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Windy City Bender podcast presented by Beer League Talk. How's everybody doing?
How are ya?
How are ya? Episode 59 coming at you, hot and ready like Little Caesar's Pizza.
The Klinkhammer, by the way. Come on, don't forget. Do not disrespect the Klinkhammer. Come on, Poets.
Sorry.
Robbie
This is
dropping the
episode, episode 59. We're going to go with the Klinkhammer again because,
The Klinkhammer.
options are limited.
No. Do not do that to Klinkhammer. He is a legend.
We had to choose between him, Sergei Krivokrasov, and Travis Moen again. So
He's a legend. I don't care.
once again,
He's a
options
legend.
are limited.
He's a legend.
We've got once again a full squad, which is kind of the reason why this is coming at you a little bit later. Got Nolly. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I found Kaner's stats, so we'll save that.
Okay.
A little foreshadowing.
Is that why your jaw just dropped?
Yep.
Okay. Good. We've also got Tanner downtown. How are you?
Oh, what up?
All right.
Nolly found
And we got
so
we got Jarom. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing a lot better recording this than what it would have been on Sunday, so I'm good.
Yeah. No kidding. I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise that we did a little bit later.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good in the hood. We finally have our Stanley Cup final. It's exactly what we thought it was going to be, and it's hell on earth.
This is not my final.
I'm the only one that
Yeah.
called it officially.
Not my final.
Yeah. We will. We'll get into that in a little bit as well. But first, we got a little. There you go. Okay.
Our time is just off today.
Sorry, I'm still mesmerized by Kaner's stats.
Not Sunday
Well,
morning.
Not too much coming from the Blackhawk end of things, other than Patrick Kane in the
World Championships.
World Championship. Yeah, he said Jarom said World Cup earlier. Now that's in my head, and I knew it wasn't the right thing to say, so I blame you. The World Championships. Kaner broke a Team USA record. Nolly, I'll let you take it away from here because you've got the states.
No, let Jarom do it.
So
Okay.
the USA record was 33 points throughout the World Championship history. Got it right that time. With Kaner's assist in that game to give him 34 points, he beat that record, doing so in 42 less games than the original record holder, which I totally forgot to look up the original guy's name.
I think it was Johnson from the 80 team.
It was like Mark Johnson.
Yeah, I think it was. But yeah, and obviously he did in a lot less games. He's only been in the World Championship 3 times, and where was it? Fuck. 07-08, 7 games, 10 points. 17-18 last year, 10 games played, 20 points, and then this year 7 games played, 10 points. So he's got 40 points now.
Jesus.
He had 20 points last year. That's unreal.
They didn't go that far either, did
It's-
they?
Crazy to think about too, because I mean, like you were saying, he's had so few less opportunities to be able to accomplish something like that. Almost every year, the Hawks have made at least a semi-deep playoff run.
R.I.P.
Oh,
R.I.P. the playoff runs.
too soon.
Yeah.
RIP to the playoff runs. So awesome to see that Kaner's successful there. Captain Kaner is what he's been labeled as out there, which is
KC.
pretty awesome. KC. Do you think they?
CK?
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
don't know.
CK.
captain.
Yeah, Sorry.
Gainer
You're
captain.
dyslexic a little
The
bit.
team captain
Sorry.
Cougars.
Yeah. Did you see the picture that somebody made of him when he broke the record? They just they took the C off his jersey and they made it a K.
Like a Russian.
Yeah.
Was it backwards
Yeah,
too?
like it's Russian, but his last name is Kane.
Oh.
Really
There it
struck
is.
out on that one.
You
Yeah.
see, you did a thing.
Yeah.
But USA tomorrow, semifinals, I believe it is. But playing Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll wear
They're
a
in
K.
it.
Maybe he'll wear a K.
They're in it. Maybe.
So.
You never know. And what was Jarom? What was the number? Is it 11 Blackhawks?
11.
The,
11 Blackhawks have advanced to the quarterfinals.
No shit.
Yeah.
How about it? Stat guy.
Yeah. At least they're playing the playoffs somewhere, right?
Oh, and Michael Frolik, ex-Blackhawk.
Hey, look at that.
There you go. How about that?
How about it?
Kind of transitioning away from Hawks talk a little bit into World Championship talk. How about the video of Great Britain celebrating their win?
That was awesome.
That is almost up there. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna be an asshole and say it. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
Well, now you gotta be.
Now you have to.
I was gonna say it's almost up there with 1980, but no, it's not. It was funny. Like, I mean, just their excitement level, like it was their 1980 like moment. That's what
Go
was
in your closet.
Yeah, that was real funny, Jared. Mute him. Somebody mute him.
I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I'm just saying. Like,
I don't know how.
I got the power here.
Damn it.
Do you feel it?
It was pretty funny though, the way that they were all celebrating, and then they were chanting, "We're shit, we know it."
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Was it "we're shit and we know it," or was it "we aren't shit"?
No, they said we are shit.
No.
Because if they would have lost,
we are shit. We are shit.
Yeah, because if they would have lost that game, they would have got knocked down to the lower group. So they stay up in the top group to get their ass kicked for another year.
Hey, man, all about that 3-0 comeback win. You know,
I mean, that was a great fucking game.
They aren't shit.
That was a damn good play to end the game too.
Yeah.
And no fucking suck.
We don't fucking suck this year.
But also talking about shitty performances, it took Italy 5 games to score their first goal of the tournament.
Fucking nerds.
They finished the whole tournament with 6 total goals.
Wow.
Italians.
Tough.
Yeah.
And somehow they didn't get relegated. So they'll be back next year also.
They technically finished higher than what was it, Austria in the standings? So, yeah.
Woo.
Makes no sense. Tanner is just amused by this whole World Championship talk right now.
Tanner's loving the talk.
And
I've been paying attention to anything in the World Championships. I was like, yeah, whatever.
I'm just gonna watch the Cubs for now.
Yep.
Leading point getter of the tournament so far, Willie Nylander. Just saying.
Proving he's worth that
Glad
money.
he finally turned it on now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you figure if he would have played all year, this would have been playoff time for him. So
I mean, there's also no Bruins on whatever teams that he's playing, so that probably helps out.
the ex-Bruins.
God damn it, Tanner.
Guy says one thing all podcast. Fucking kick him off.
All right. See him signing off, guys.
Put my 2 cents in.
So, question. I thought personally myself. I personally thought that people talking about Kaapo Kakko making a run for that number 1 spot was kind of ridiculous based off his play in the World Championships. What do you guys think? Do you think he's actually making himself a case to overtake Jack Hughes at that number 1 spot with this, or because he's been crushing this tournament?
He's filthy.
So
highlights of him because that's all over the place.
Yeah. So I was kind of the same way. I was like, I mean, everybody was just saying like it's Jack Hughes, like lose for Hughes, like that's the thing. And Kaapo Kakko is for sure going too. But It's hard to say. It's just because it's one tournament, but at the same time, it's he's playing against NHL players for the most part. Obviously, like Britain and stuff doesn't have NHL players on it, but like,
do they not have Pierlini? Is that wrong?
His brother's on the team though, I think. But yeah, I mean, he's doing this kind of stuff against, NHL caliber players. Obviously, it's a bigger ice surface, so it's a little different. It's something he's gonna have to get used to on the American ice style. But Jack Hughes hasn't done shit, really. Yeah. Like, he really hasn't done much of this tournament. And, I mean, Kaner did come out and say that because people are comparing him to Kaner, and he's saying it's kind of hard to compare a guy like him to a guy like me. But he said for the most part, I think he does things better than I do. So, I mean, that's a lot of high praise from
humble brag.
Yeah, Captain Kaner.
Well, yeah, he was saying that it's like easy for people to compare them because they're smaller sized offensive players.
Right.
So whenever you see someone like that, it's like you immediately think Patrick Kane.
Right.
They asked him because he's also on the team. He's just like, actually, he does a lot of things better than I do. And it's just like, huh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's all about. It's hard for New Jersey. I would much rather be the Rangers because it's all right. Whoever's
New York
there takes, we'll take the other guy, no problem. And it's like.
Right.
What does New Jersey need, especially with Taylor Hall's contract up after this next year, and who knows if he's going to re-sign? I don't know.
I was going to say Whitney brought it up on Chicklets, not talk about another show, but he brought up a great point that the reason why Jack Hughes made so much sense for the Devils was because they were looking for a playmaker to play with Hall. But Witt's like, with the way Kaapo's been playing, you don't know if Hall's going to resign. Why not go for a guy that's a proven goal scorer? Because if Hall leaves, you're going to need that.
Exactly. And then, I mean, honestly, like a Nico Herscher, like he can become a playmaker, especially if he's playing with a guy like Kaapo Kakko. I mean, look how much his numbers were when Hall won the MVP. Like Herscher's numbers were pretty good for a young guy in the league. So, I mean, it's like I said, I'd much rather be the Rangers than the Devils right now.
Yeah, I read a tweet. Bad spot to be in.
Yeah,
and then it's if anybody pulls some crazy shit and you're the Blackhawks, you're like, oh wow,
oh wow. Hey, thank you.
That'd be crazy. Just fell into 3.
I read a tweet talking about Jack Hughes, saying that the fact that because he turned 18 while he was over there and he moved from a cage to a half shield, and that's part of the reason why he's not playing as well, which I thought that was bullshit. Like, we're reaching there.
Yeah.
But it did pose a question to me that I guess I didn't really think of all that much. You, Jarom and Nolly, moving from a cage to a half shield, is it really that big of a difference at all?
I mean,
yes and no.
A little different. Yeah, it's a little different because you have to react faster. Like, obviously, if you have a cage on and a puck gets up high, like, your natural reaction is move out of the way, or like a stick's up there. But like, you're like,
but not from like a vision standpoint.
I know. I mean, you could because I mean, in the long run, it's like it's the same thing with you with the cage. I mean, do you notice the cage on there on your mask?
No, honestly, switching from cage to visor, seeing wise, it's 100% easier.
Yeah.
100%. It's so much easier.
That's why
it's all about like mental stuff, I think, because like I said, when you have a cage on, you're like, all right, well, at least I'm protected. But with a visor, you're like aware. You're like, oh fuck, there's a stick up here. Like, I got to be careful,
right?
So it's more mental stuff. But it's not.
It's a piss poor excuse.
Yeah, I thought it was a ridiculous response to the fact that he's not playing well. I mean, he's not playing well because he's playing against guys who are like 2 times his age at this fucking thing,
Do you
That's
think
why he's not playing well. He's not used to that kind of competition. He's gonna be fine, but
do you think there's added pressure to him because he's got this hype that he's gonna be the first overall pick, so he might be feeling a little bit?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, I don't know if I would really feel all that much pressure. Like, if I knew that I was practically already given either the number 1 or the number 2 spot, I don't know if I would necessarily feel any pressure, and it's more so just kind of be loose. You'll kind of get used to the pace of the game. I mean, you're playing with guys like Patrick Kane and Jack Eichel on the same team. I mean, you can't really ask for anything better than that to kind of introduce yourself into the NHL, right?
Right. Yeah.
Don't forget,
That's just me.
He's also really good.
And DeBrincat, yeah, Brinks a cat. So, all right. So let's move on to playoffs. We never really finished Carolina Boston. So another sweep. We call it sweepception over here. Boston takes out Carolina in 4 games straight.
Yeah.
And quite honest with you, it didn't even look all that close.
It was a lot of just Tuukka Rask just becoming a literal brick wall. He looked like he was impossible to score on.
I don't know what he started doing differently, but he is so confident now.
Yeah.
I don't know what the switch was for him, but the confidence that he's playing with, it's incredible.
Do you think he finally
Probably.
just... Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably all the fucking haters are shutting up now. He's actually playing well.
He was playing well before, though. I mean, but it's nothing even close to what he's doing now. I mean, there were saves that he was making against Carolina that were coming. Shots were coming from the point, and there were 4 or 5 guys in front of him, and he didn't even look. You know, he couldn't even see the puck, and it's just going straight into his glove.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's all luck. I could do that.
Yeah.
But those are the kinds of saves that you're making when you are just riding on the biggest of
high
highs.
streak.
Like
Yeah,
those are the
absolutely.
saves that just absolutely right. You don't even have to do anything to make a save, and it just happens.
Kind of questioned. I don't understand. I still don't understand why they went to Mrazek. I don't get it. I mean, McElhinney. I don't. McElhinney was playing great for those 2 games that Mrazek was out. Mrazek's obviously hurt. Why bring him in and then why let him play game 2? I didn't get that.
I understand. Yeah. I understand them going to him for game 1. The game 2 is where I was kind of like, okay.
But my question is an 80% Mrazek or whatever he was at better than 100% McElhinney?
The way that he was playing, I would have said yeah.
An 80% compared to McElhinney?
80%.
McElhinney played great, though.
Yeah, I understand that, but Mrazek was playing extremely well at that point. So, I mean, I would have taken him then. After seeing, I wouldn't have left him in the game as long as they left him in game 2, because that was lacking, and he obviously was not looking good.
Well, he never ended up getting pulled, and apparently. Brendan Moore was the only coach all season to never switch goalies in a game. To never pull a goalie. Yeah, all season.
Oh, that's a weird stat.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, it's weird.
Stat guy.
It's more of a health concern than anything else to keep him in the game that long.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously not feeling great. He's given up 5 goals in 2 periods. Get him the hell out of there.
Here's my question, too. Let me propose this, too. I know it's a little bit different than like the Hawks situation with Darling and Crawford, because Crawford wasn't hurt. It was just a mental thing. But do you think it was just kind of like in general the same way? It's like new round, you go to your number 1? Like, could that be
that Nashville series when Darling stole it and then they went back to Crawford at the beginning of round 2?
Yeah. I mean, do you think it's that kind of same situation?
Crawford kind of finished out that series, though. I think by game 6,
that's true.
The game they won, Crawford was in net for that one.
Yeah, because Darling gave up 3 in the first, and they yanked him.
And
I think
Crawford
Hughes said anyway.
Looked good.
Yeah, I think Hughes said that he was going to go with Crawford for round 2 anyway. But I think that's a bit different because it was more so Crawford needed to figure his shit out, whereas Mrazek, the only reason that he wasn't playing was because he got hurt.
Yeah. You know, it wasn't because go back to him. Poorly. That doesn't make sense to me.
Everybody else was playing through injury.
I think you go through. I mean, you got to go with your number 1 guy for the first game at least. I think that's I don't, and then you.
But why number 2?
That I don't agree with. That it should have been pulled.
He didn't play that bad in game number 1. It wasn't bad enough to where he would get sat for game 2.
But knowing the type of team Boston was and, what's on the line, you don't think that they should have, cut the leash really short? Knowing how McElhinney was playing?
If it was flipped, if they were playing at home and they lost game 1 at home, maybe I have a different answer. Because you can't lose 2 games at home.
Fair.
Yeah, well, they lost 4 games in a row, so.
Yeah, well, things did not go their way the entire series. Boston got, whether they want to admit it or not, they got massive help from the men in stripes all series long again.
Not only that, but, I mean, as much as it hurts to say it, Marchand was doing Marchand things, but in the most legal way he could, as in getting in Justin Williams' head. He took
Justin Williams is rattled as fuck.
Yeah, he took what
the hell was he doing?
2 games or something along those lines. Like, he was just all over the place. And Martian's such a cocksucker. And when he put that, like, when he was doing the C like on his chest to Williams after he took a penalty, it's like, fuck you, dude. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, but do the C all you want.
At that moment, wouldn't Justin Williams be like, wow, like, this clown is chirping me like that, and like he got in my head, like, what am I doing? Like, I need to be better than this for my team. And
what people forget about that is that all started with Marchand when he fucking high stick Williams in the face. Like, everybody's like, oh, Marchand got in his head, for no reason. No, Williams was pissed that he got a fucking stick to the face.
And then Marchand wouldn't drop the gloves. Typical Marchand.
Yeah.
And Williams, after game 2, said, I got to be better. I'm a captain. I can't let that kind of shit get to me. And then game 3, he goes out and he takes 3 separate penalties against Torrey Krug. I don't know what his issue was with him.
What's
that?
He punched Backus in the back of the head when he was on the ice, too, in game 3.
Yeah, he pulled a Marchand.
Yeah.
He was just fucking everywhere. Just not playing his game at all.
I just loved Boston social media too after that. They're like, oh, why is he not suspended? Why is he not kicked out?
Yeah.
Don't fucking talk.
Brindamore only played him for 12 minutes that game in game 3. He only played Williams for 12 minutes. He had enough of whatever he was doing.
That's a tough
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
My question is did they get swept because they didn't use the Storm Shirts in the first 2 rounds?
Yes, absolutely.
Is that the only
100%? That's it. That's the only reason.
I think once they saw Don Cherry rocking, the Bruins tuxedo, they were like, "Fuck." That was all of it.
He's
that
such
was
a piece of shit.
Hey, you got the Boston Bruins out there. I used to coach him with my dog, and a bunch of jerks.
Holy
my God,
shit.
that's so good.
I want to take that audio and do just like Don Cherry or Nolly.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That was way too spot on.
I am writing that time frame down.
I was going to mention, because we were talking about the Rouse, there was in game 3 that Dougie Hamilton took like 2 penalties like in a row. Or was that game 2? Was that what happened?
Game 2. It was game 2.
Right?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Scored 2 goals on power
episode.
plays or some shit. It was just garbage fucking penalties. It was
just... Not only that.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, not only that. I don't know if we talked about that at all. But yeah, that one where Hamilton did the reverse hit. At the same time, I forget who it was, but they hit Svechnikov in the middle of center ice. Svechnikov was nowhere near the play, right to the back. And nothing. And Svechnikov just coming off of that concussion. And he's a rookie in the league. He's a bright star for this franchise. Like, how is the NHL not taking care of these players? Like, there's no penalty at all. Like, nothing. Like, I don't know.
We definitely talked about this. I'm having like deja vu. Because that was game 1, right?
Game 2, I think. But yeah, I think we did talk about it. So we can be fucking done with this stupid series.
Yeah. All right.
So, well, by the way,
Boston's going to go to the final.
The recap, all 3 of you were right and I was wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, you choose Carolina?
Yeah. I couldn't choose Boston.
Yeah, but me and Tanner did it in a way that we're both technically wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the only time I got my fucking picks right.
Same, but still different.
Literally had no picks correct in the fucking second round. I had 2 right in the first round, and then 100% of my picks right in the third. What?
What? Yeah,
Jesus
but how
Christ.
happy are you about those picks?
Yeah.
Extremely upset. I'm on the verge of depression.
I was telling Nolly today after your guys' like explanation on why you're making those picks, and after they were both like completely wrong, I just thought of like Happy Gilmore when he goes to the caddy, like, yeah, where the fuck were you on that one?
You blow it.
Yeah.
Well-
Going to the West now. San Jose, St. Louis. Pretty entertaining series to watch, all in all.
I think it ended the way it did because if it's San Jose, Boston, the rest would have no idea what to do with themselves.
That's accurate. That's accurate. San Jose jumped out to a 1-0 series lead. St. Louis tied it on the road. Then San Jose in Game 3 won an overtime game in one of the most ridiculous ways I think we're ever going to see.
God.
Yep.
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 That's
As in it wasn't the game-winning goal.
It was not a game-winning goal.
if Andrew Shaw's header counted against the Anaheim Ducks, like that would have been. That's what it should have been. Like it should have been. Oh, that's not a goal.
Shaw's goal was more impressive than this one, and this one counted.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
How do four guys on the ice watching the play say they don't see it?
And it's funny too because who got the assist? Who ended up getting the assist? Nyquist?
No, was it?
Yeah,
but no, wasn't it Meyer or something? That was the one.
Meyer was the one that batted it.
Yeah. And Nyquist grabbed it right in front of the net and then like just barely tapped it to Carlson because he's like, all right, hand pass, here it comes. And then Carlson is just like, yeah, no whistle for sure. I'll put it home.
Sure.
And he just turned around and was like, is this fucking for real? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, everybody on the ice knew that it was a hand pass and like it shouldn't have counted.
I love the interview with Carlson after the game. We were like, yeah, so they're saying that might have been a hand pass. Like, what are your thoughts on that? He's like, oh, the game moves pretty fast, and I didn't really get a chance to see it. It happened like 4 feet away from him.
You were watching the whole play. It's my favorite.
I'm not entirely sure what happened, but we ended up coming out with the W there.
I blacked out. It's so funny when like shit like that happens and they interview the people about it, and it's like they obviously know it wasn't right, but they're not going to go against what just happened for them. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like that's weird.
I would just love to hear.
That was the quickest overtime celebration I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah,
they were all like, "Yeah, get off the ice, fuck off the ice right now, get on the bus."
I would love to just have like Carlson get that same question and just go, "Oh fuck yeah, that was a hand pass for sure." But we won, so I don't give a shit.
Those refs fucked up.
Or just not say anything, just give a nice little smile to the camera and just like nod yes, and then just leave it at that.
I already got my skates off. We can't go back on the ice now.
My groin's torn.
How many injuries do you think he's going to come out with?
Oh god!
Or have they released the injuries yet?
I haven't heard anything.
No,
yet.
I don't think so.
No, I was looking for it. I haven't seen anything.
No. Well, I mean, he was clearly hurt. I mean, he didn't play fucking game 6.
Yep.
Yeah. Before we move on, I did want to ask you guys just a question about how that whole thing played out. The fact that that play is non-reviewable. Because let's be honest, it probably shouldn't have to have a review to know whether or not it's a fucking hand pass or not. But how do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like at this point every play should be reviewable? Because I kind of agree with the fact that there should be no review there. A hand pass is a hand pass. If you miss it, that's on the referees. That's a fuck up. Granted, it's overtime in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but
but at the same time, if they're going to review Gabe Landeskog if his foot's barely on the line or not, and that goal doesn't get counted and it's not even in overtime, you can't review a hand pass in game 7 or game 6 OT or whatever the fuck game it was. But in overtime, literally a game-winning goal. Like, I wouldn't be upset if they made a rule where it's every overtime goal in playoffs gets reviewed. Like, I wouldn't be upset about that. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, a team celebrating. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. But at the same time, then they don't review the play in Boston. What was against Columbus when the puck clearly went into the mesh.
Yeah.
And then it came down and they still scored because no ref saw it hit the mesh. Yeah. It's like,
right.
Should it be like,
it's either you have to go all in on it or you can't.
I was gonna say, should it be like NFL where every scoring play is reviewed?
At that, I don't know. It's like because
I mean, Toronto
because
could do
I want them all to get the calls right, and I mean,
I think what we should do is just every time that it's questionable, they just call me, and then I'll be like, "Yeah, review that one," or "No, don't review that one."
No, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, at the Blackhawks, we're offside. No, that's all right. It's not reviewed.
I mean, you think about it.
Are they going to Toronto? No, they're going to Tanner. All right, cool.
All right, for sure.
You could do a quick review
they're going
during
Houston.
Celebrations and all that.
Nice.
I mean,
nice.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks.
Is going to Houston. We got it.
And the Hawks division.
Yeah.
I also saw Bucci Groffs tweeted out something proposing just eliminating the hand pass rule in general.
Oh,
I don't like that.
I like it. Moving on.
Yeah, no, I just don't like it. I get it, like kind of helps scoring or whatever, but no, I don't like it. All you have to do then is take the puck, flip it as far as you can out of your defensive zone, and a guy can just bat it to somebody else, no problem. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Why don't we also just get rid of the sticks, turn the puck into a ball, and then just bring the nets and put them up high, and then just kind of eliminate the ice surface.
I think you're talking about handball.
Oh no.
I don't know. They definitely have to do something because that's fucked up. But in the end, as sad as it is to say, after all the shit that the Sharks got their way, they finally didn't get things going their way after that.
Yeah, can you imagine if Vegas was here still?
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
That 5-minute major never happens. They don't give up 4 goals on a penalty kill. Marc-Andre Fleury fucking stands on his head probably still, like all the fucking time.
We get to watch Mark Stone selly his ass off.
I'm 100% confident Vegas wins that. Like, it's a completely different playoff if that doesn't get called.
Yeah. What?
Okay.
Well, St. Louis ended up having a last laugh anyway.
They aside.
And also, Tanner's the only one to get that correct that round. So.
Yeah, but once again, technically wrong. Wrong. Edge. Wrong.
Not only did they have Jordan Binnington coming to their rescue, but Jaden Schwartz turned it on.
Holy
the power of the Schwartz.
Yeah. And Vladimir Tarasenko is starting to figure his shit out too, finally.
Only guy to have a point in every game that series.
He's so fucking good.
Yeah, he's nasty.
He's
actually hasn't had the best year, along with most of the guys on the Blues, but he hasn't had the best year, and he didn't have a great start to the playoffs either. So
yeah, I feel like he's been very
starting
quiet.
to turn it up. Watch out.
It'll be exciting to see Tarasenko versus like Pasternak. Like
that it's gonna be fun to see how the lines match up. Because St. Louis is deep as fuck, and the Bruins are pretty deep as well. So
the same fucking team in the East Coast and West Coast. They're the fucking same team.
Yeah,
they both either had or have David Backes, and fuck that.
What's the over under on suspensions coming out of this series? Because they're both dirty as hell.
There's gonna be nothing.
0.
Yeah,
because dirty teams get away with shit.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's the playoffs.
That's true. I am interested to see exactly how much the benches actually changed though with injuries, because people are going to end up getting hurt in the series. This is going to be a bruising, hard Stanley Cup final, and the rosters going into the final are not going to be the same ones coming out.
I bet they are
on both sides.
I bet they are, because people playing the playoffs hurt.
This is going to be
people are already hurt.
This is a Bergeron Puncher Lund playoff. Like
it's going to be honestly like. It's going to be a great series. It's a great matchup, and it hurts me to say that because I don't want to watch this with every ounce of my body. I do not want to watch this final.
It's going to be such good hockey, though.
I know. It's going to be so good.
If you just take out, like, who the teams actually are and just take those players and, like, and then, like, see them against each other, like, fuck, this is going to be super good. Like, they're literally matched up perfectly in every aspect of the fucking game.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. And like you start at goaltending, like Rask and Bennington are just,
they're both hot.
They're both ridiculous. Like I think they both posted a shutout in their previous series. Like, and like they both won their like last game like with such fucking ease. Like you said about Rask making like all these saves that he shouldn't be making. You see all those highlights of Jordan Bennington. That's like, he doesn't even see the puck and he's throwing his arm out there and it's like hitting his upper arm and going underneath his like arm and then like getting off the back of his skate leg, like his skate. And it's just like barely going wide. And you're like, nothing can fucking get past him because it's going to just somehow hit him or miss or hit the post. And it's just like the craziest puck luck for both of these teams. Every game's going to go 6 overtimes. Like, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's funny because it's really like both of these teams, like watching their playoff runs right now, they both have that storyline of this team has everything that going right for them. I don't see how they can't win the cup right now. Like going back, like looking at all the 3 Hawks runs, there was moments and like saves and plays that it's just like this team is like magical. Like this is their time. Like there's no way they don't win this cup. And right now, both of these teams have all those moments going for them.
Speaking of storylines, like I fucking hate that St. Louis is the team playing out to their storyline. Like it is one of the best storylines I think going in hockey right now. And I just wish it was any other team but St. Louis.
It's one of the best storylines in sports.
Yeah. Like last place in January. Last place in the entire league. Like not in their division. Like the entire fucking league. They're last place. And now in the fucking Stanley Cup final.
Not only that, but you got fucking Bennington coming in out of 6 years in the A. You got Patrick Maroon coming home at a hometown discount playing for his kid. You got Jay Bomeister playing almost 1,200 games in the NHL, never making it to a Stanley Cup final.
Gloria.
Plus Maroon scored that overtime goal against Dallas.
Yep.
I mean, the next round too, which is fucking insane.
You got Ryan O'Reilly coming in from Buffalo, where he said that he lost his love for the game playing up in Buffalo. Like it's just there's so many storylines. You got Gloria.
Yeah,
playing.
the whole story behind Gloria.
They got that the little girl that they've been bringing to all those games with the terminal illness, which is just a heartbreaking story. It's just
Why is it going to be St. Louis? Why does it have to be St. Louis?
Fucking recapping everything because I'm like, yeah, this is fucking insane.
Yeah, it's like a perfect storybook for them right now.
Andrew, would you like to say something?
So wait, talking about Gloria just reminded me. Have you guys seen Pete Blackburn on Twitter stealing Gloria and making it a Bruins song? And all of these St. Louis Blues fans are getting
freaking out,
furious. They are losing their mind.
Yeah, he made a shirt that just says Gloria, but it's in black and gold. And then he made another one. It said like play it or something like that in black and gold.
It's so stupid and so petty, but it's making people so mad.
If Boston,
he's
typical Boston thing.
Bruin fan. Oh my God.
You know, it would be awesome if Boston.
He posted his bracket. He's 100%. He had every series right so far.
I don't believe that.
That was the makeup. It was the makeup bracket.
Oh, okay.
That was the makeup bracket.
One. I was gonna say,
and he got one of them wrong. It was the Avalanche, and he tweeted.
Oh yeah, that's right.
At the Avs, and he was like, "How can you live with yourself?"
So how fucking awesome! I mean, going with the troll job, Boston. If they win Game 1, they have to play Gloria at the end of the game, right?
Oh, you have to.
That would be unreal.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that would be hilarious.
Honestly,
after every goal.
Oh,
honestly, that's hilarious, but also dumb. Absolutely dumb. You just seeing what St. Louis did after that, that hand pass OT goal and going into the room and Berube is just like, it's over. We got to move on to the next game.
Yeah, we didn't
talk like Gloria after Game 1 in Boston. St. Louis is winning the next 4.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they're gonna allow that to happen.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the response to the hand pass in the locker room. I want to bring that up. Just the coach, drop. Was Brubier?
Yeah, Berube.
Yeah, him dropping that and just, moving on, don't even think about it. Like, fucking, that is amazingly handled. Like, not many people can just, fucking forget about it. All the players were fucking on the same page, ready to go. And I fucking loved it.
That's honestly, like, those are the types of moments that really make or break a team, because a couple years ago, San Jose, they had something fall apart in front of them and they just couldn't handle it and they blew it. And that moment reminded me of, I want to say 2013 against Detroit. Jarmelson scores that game-winning goal just before overtime, and everybody starts freaking out, and Q's just like, don't worry about it. We got overtime. We got him. Like, don't think about it. It's game's still going. Like, those are the things that coaches need to do to calm everybody down and make them remember that, like, it's in the past. There's nothing you can do about it now. You need to keep playing.
On the opposite end of that, take John Cooper this year after game 2, where he was just like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening, but we have to figure it out or else this is over.
See,
Two totally opposite ends of the spectrum. And John Cooper's a damn good hockey coach. He's a great coach, but
is he a great coach? Or is he a great team?
I was gonna say, I don't know if he's a great coach. I think he is a great coach at keeping them tame. Yeah, keeping them like in line, kind of thing, but not like everything that's done. I think you could put on the players just being some of the best players in the fucking NHL.
But fuck, man, Berube, that just shows he's gonna be in St. Louis for a long time with that.
Wow.
When I heard that, I was like, he's gonna be there for a long time. These players are gonna love him. And not only that, he only came in halfway through the year. Yeah. They had fucking Mike Eo.
Had they signed him to a legitimate contract yet, or is he still technically interim?
I think he's still technically an interim.
Yeah, not for long.
Yeah.
They should have just gave him full time before he wins the cup and asked for a fucking 10 sheets.
Yeah, no shit.
Did you mention the St. Louis Blues like getting in a fight at practice is what started this whole entire run that they've done, where they were like literally such a fucking joke that they were fighting each other at practice, and then it's like, oh nope, now they're winning every fucking game possible.
Yeah, they were like,
and who was it? It was
Bortuzzo and
Thomas, right?
Thomas, no, not Thomas. Edmondson.
No,
I'm pretty sure it was Edmondson.
It seems like an Edmondson thing to do.
I don't remember, but
I'll look at their lineup. I can tell you.
Yeah, right. You fucking tell me then.
You guys want a fun fact?
Bortuzzo and Sanford.
Sanford, there it is.
You guys want a fun fact?
Can we just talk about? Oh fuck, what's his name? It starts with an S. He's on the fourth line.
Sunfist.
He is one of the ugliest fucking people I've ever seen in my entire life.
What?
Man, he is great at hockey, but holy shit, bud.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm telling you, like, take a look at him right now.
He's kind of like Sean Avery.
No.
Like a
Russian.
Like an eviler version of Sean Avery.
I was gonna say an evil version.
Evil already.
He looks like he's got lip injections.
Sean Avery's
duck face.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's the one that got a concussion in the preseason and got Tom Wilson suspended.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah. Yuck, dude. Like, oh man.
Across the middle with his head down.
Yeah. Head was down.
So this is St. Louis's first final since 1970, the famous Bobby Orr goal.
They
were in the
Boston Bruins.
Mm-hmm. The Blues were in the finals for 3 straight years, 68, 69, and 70.
Nice.
Each year, they were swept. They have not won a single Stanley Cup final game in their history, and they've been 3 times.
You know what's really funny?
How long does that stay?
Golden Knights have more Stanley Cup final victories.
But the thing is about that stat, it's kind of dumb because it was basically original 6 versus expansion 6, and
true.
I mean,
you're the best of the worst.
Yeah, the original 6 could dummy any of the expansion 6, no matter who was in the final.
Yeah.
Okay, true, but also at the same time, you would assume that in 12 games, you might win 1.
Hey, I mean, it's like Glenn Hall was in that. He's a Hall of Famer. He couldn't get a W for the boys. It's like goalies are irrelevant or something.
Fuck you.
Well, you know what? It's really weird that you say that because in the 1968 Stanley Cup Final, he was the MVP of the entire playoffs, which they didn't even win a game. That's so weird. He could win an MVP like that.
It's funny how you can win an MVP and still not win the right trophy.
Get jiggy with it.
So obviously he wasn't relevant.
No.
Was that a reference to J.S. Jaguar because he did the same thing?
Yep.
Wasn't, but he did.
No, yeah, I know.
Wait, what?
That's why I brought it up.
Shut up, Brian.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I am. So what do we think here?
Wait,
obviously,
can I say one fun fact about this that I saw?
Series.
So in NHL, NBA, NFL, and MLB, there's only been two cities to play each other for the championship in all four leagues: St. Louis and Boston.
Wait, what?
They played each other?
Oh,
Yeah, so Boston and
played each
St.
other in
Louis are
championship.
the only, out of all the teams in all those four leagues in the United States, they're the only two teams that play each other in all four of them.
And it's the second time they're doing it in the NHL. How about it?
Okay, so wait a minute. St. Louis Blues and Bruins, obviously.
Yes.
Cardinals, Red Sox.
Yep.
Yeah. The old St. Louis Rams and
Patriots.
And the Patriots.
Yep.
What's the other one?
Boston
Basketball.
Celtics and the St. Louis Hawks.
Funks.
St. Louis Hawks.
Yes. The Atlanta Hawks used to be in St. Louis.
Huh. Hey, well, that shows
Who
you
knew?
how much basketball history I know.
And the only reason I know
St.
that,
Louis history I know.
the only reason I know that is
Well,
because
I'll give you a fun little St. Louis fact.
Yeah.
Chicago used to dump all their trash in the river, and it would float all the way down to St. Louis, especially the shit. And St. Louis hated it. We didn't give a fuck.
I'll give you another
We
fact.
didn't care.
Only good thing to come out of St. Louis is Anheuser-Busch.
Eh.
Yeah. And it's still mediocre.
Yeah.
It's still okay. Yeah.
Really just the horses. That's really only
Yeah. That's all we want.
I don't
Yeah.
think they came from St. Louis.
No.
No.
So I have a theory.
They got a cool arch, I guess.
Yeah. Sick.
It's missing a half and it's not golden.
Hey, you know what? I can make that arch with a couple White Castle empties.
Okay.
So I have a theory, but I want to bring it up because after we go through, because I want to see what you guys all think who's going to come out of the series.
I hate this, and I know what he's going to talk about, and I fucking hate him for it.
Who do we
So
think?
what, are we making our predictions?
Yeah,
right
we're making
now?
our predictions now.
Yeah.
Poets, you go first.
All right. I'm gonna take Boston 4-2.
Tanner?
Probably Boston in 7. I just can't say St. Louis. I just can't.
And I refuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought I was thought the same way, but I'm taking St. Louis in 7.
So here's my thought.
Fucking hate him for this.
So I fucking hate the Blues. I fucking can't stand them. They're basically the only Hawks real rival.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at their division, I don't hate anybody else in the division. There's teams I don't like Minnesota I don't like, but the Hawks dummy them all the time.
Yep.
So no, don't care.
And they're not doing anything with Bruce behind the bench.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Love their stupidity. Makes me happy. I mean, Dallas, Nashville. I mean, none of those teams, Colorado, Winnipeg, like none of those teams. I don't hate them. St. Louis.
My favorite thing about Minnesota is the fact that we jumped them in the standings, therefore winning the 3rd overall pick this year. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bruce. I can't stand the Blues. That's the one team I fucking hate as a Hawks fan. That's the one team I hate. And on the other hand, we have the fucking Boston Bruins. I hate with a burning passion the Boston Bruins. Absolutely hate.
Well, it's because we also like Toronto.
No. Hear me out.
No, Tanner, let
Hear
him
me
go.
out.
Let him go, Tanner.
Hear me out. The St. Louis Blues, as a team, I can't stand. Their players, I can respect their players. Ryan O'Reilly, Tarasenko, I like a lot of their players. There's nobody on their team. There's no player on that team that I can't stand. Even though Sundqvist is an ugly motherfucker, doesn't mean I hate him.
Edmondson.
He's good at hockey, though. What?
Edmondson.
Joel Edmondson?
Yeah.
No. It's Sundqvist. He's the ugly motherfucker.
No, but I'm saying, though, that's probably the one player I can hate on that team.
Oh, I got you. Boston fucking Bruins. I can't stand those cheap motherfuckers, those stupid fucking losers. They get away with shit all goddamn year. They think they're fucking so sick. Fucking Marchand doing the fucking the walk, like go eat a dick.
The Conor McGregor.
Marchand. Yeah, the fucking McGregor, dude. No.
Colin D'Elia did that in the A.
Yeah, well, that's the A. You need to have some showmanship.
I think your sister just took you out of her wedding.
No, No, she doesn't listen. It's fine. No, but it's the players. I don't respect them. They have fucking David Backes on their team. I can't stand that fucking guy. Maybe if he was still on the Blues, I'd be against him. I don't like them. I don't like the team. I don't like the city. I hate their fucking fans. They're all cocky motherfuckers. They just won the fucking Patriots won their Super Bowl. The Boston Red Sox. Thank you very much.
Got him rattled.
Found it. The Red Sox just won the World Series. These fucking cocksuckers, just like we said, Pete Blackburn is a huge fucking troll. El Press is a huge fucking troll. I'm done with it. Blues and 7.
Here okay, yeah. And here's another thing. When we were talking about this, earlier today, like when he started throwing this, I'm like, essentially this Blues roster. The only issue we have with them is
they're the Blues.
They're the Blues.
Yeah, it's just because we're rivals.
If you put them in a different sweater, completely different.
If this entire story was out of Colorado, out of Dallas, we would all be on this bandwagon. It's the fact that it's the fucking Blues on their jersey. That's the only reason.
Like that's the thing. Like you give me Tarasenko on the Hawks, fuck yeah.
Ryan O'Reilly.
Give me Ryan O'Reilly. Yep. You give me Marchand on the Hawks, I'm gonna be like, where the fuck did you get this guy?
Yeah. Don't give me that fucking clown. The only people I can stand on the Bruins are Patrice Bergeron, David Pastrnak, and Tuukka Rask. Those are the only 3. The rest of them are fucking scumbags. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Here's my thing on that. I agree with you. I don't necessarily dislike anybody on the Blues. I just don't like the Blues because they are the Blues. But I think a lot of that goes into I don't want their fans to be happy. Their fans are the biggest pieces of shit. They might even be worse than Boston Bruins fans. It's close. It's a fine line.
The Cardinal,
very, very fine line. I can't fucking stand them.
St. Louis Cardinals fans versus St. Louis Blues fans are completely different. I totally agree with you on the St. Louis fan base through the Cardinals. I don't see the same shit with the Blues though.
What would you rather have? A franchise that's finally won their first Stanley Cup or a franchise that's just won their 17th trophy in their city in the last, 25 years or whatever it is?
Also,
half of that is the Patriots, though.
Part of me also wants the Stanley Cup to come back to the Western Conference because it's been in the East for like the last 3 years.
Truth.
In the long run, we also said this: we're not cheering for St. Louis.
No,
we're cheering for Boston. I'm
cheering for St. Louis. I am hoping that the Bruins lose. That's how I'm looking at this. I am not rooting for St. Louis.
I would love for both teams.
I told Jarom earlier. I hope both teams get the mumps and they cancel the final. I hope that's what happens because I don't want the trophy given to either of these teams.
I hate how much sense he makes, and because it's St. Louis, he makes so much sense though, and I fucking hate it.
Why couldn't Tampa just do it?
Why couldn't Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's gonna be such a fucking fun series to watch, and I'm gonna hate.
It's a true. It is a
true. As soon as the final game is over, I'm turning it off. Not gonna watch them hand the cup off and be like, "Oh wow, this is a great NHL." Here.
It's a true hockey fan final, which sucks.
Yeah,
this is how I feel.
Well, Brian, what's your pick then? Obviously, it's St. Louis, but how many games?
You know what? I'm gonna go 6.
Oh, you're changing it to 6?
Yeah. You know Gloria at home.
St. Louis in 4. St. Louis in 4. You gotta go with that.
How fucking insane would that
mentality.
be? Like, what would if it ends up being St. Louis in 4?
Oh yeah,
with
just the sweep factor.
God.
Oh my God.
Since Islanders
that's how it's
swept,
going.
Carolina swept the Islanders, and then the Bruins swept the Hurricanes.
Yep.
That'd be unreal. So, for all the people that are listening, all 50 of you, because that's about how many we get listening.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. If you guys think, I'm just being more biased towards my Toronto fandom, and you're not really a Hawks fan, you're picking the Blues. After the Blues won, I turned the TV off last night. I went upstairs and I spent an hour and a half watching Blackhawks highlights. I watched 15 minutes of every single goal from their 2010 run, their 2013 run, and their 2015 run. And I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry myself to sleep. But looking at their team, looking how they did, Hawks are going to be back next year. The season doesn't matter. This is an irrelevant year. There's an asterisk next to the season. We're all right. We're going to be all right.
True. Plus, we have the draft to look forward to. Fuck
yeah, it's going to be a completely...
Let's do some draft talk.
Soon.
Not now, but
very
right
soon.
around the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. Those are our picks. Jarom, I think you got a riding pine for us, don't you?
Yes, sir.
You're riding the pine pony, pal.
Yeah,
I'm getting better with the timing on that shit.
me too.
All right. So this comes in from good friend of the show, former guest, Matt Rossi Ross. So he said...
Wrench.
Because I like to hear you guys weigh in on the whole debate about replacing officiating in pro sports with machines. It's a topic that's been going on for a while in the MLB with a controversy around the refs this playoffs. I'm sure it will spill into NHL soon. He goes, personally, I'm against it. I think the human element is part of the game, but I would love to hear what you guys say.
Yeah. I think that would be fucking ridiculous and stupid.
I don't know how it would transition to NHL.
Yeah, I think it would be a bunch of sensors and sounds, like putting stuff in pucks and somehow putting stuff on the blue lines to track offsides.
How do you call a hand pass? Yep. Like, how would you call a hand pass?
Truth.
Everything's
that's one of the big issues in this playoffs was that whole hand pass goal. Like, how the fuck how would anything automated call that?
Or how would they call like a delay game over the glass? Like, I don't know.
Sensors.
I mean, that one.
I guess that one could be a sensor.
That's true, because what if it was just deflected? How does it know it's not deflected and it goes over the glass, or it just goes over the glass? Like,
I think it would be interesting to like try to bring that in for reviews. Like, have the sensor in the blue line, so it's like there's like something goes off, so they can kind of see, at the point of entry a little bit clearer. That might be interesting, but I don't know if you can go full blown like robotic machine like reffing.
No, there's too much that can go wrong there. I mean, people are already upset.
How would they call penalties?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's human error to it, but looking at it, I think there would be more error in full robotic, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Fucking Tesla.
Talk about the referees. Talk about the referees this postseason. I mean, I feel like it's just they're also wound up so fucking tight trying not to make the wrong call that they're making the wrong calls.
Yeah, everything got changed after that 5-minute major.
Yeah.
Like, everything did. Like, they stopped calling penalties. They stopped calling 5-minute majors because it's like to them, it's like if they don't call a 5-minute major, then the league can deal with it if it's a suspension-worthy play. Like, why should I make this call and maybe be wrong when the NHL could just take care of it after the game? And that's completely wrong to think that way because it deserves a 5-minute penalty. It deserves a 5-minute penalty. But I don't know.
Definitely. Because at that point, you're compromising the safety of the players.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like what if it's like Vegas where he ended up getting a 5-minute penalty? It shouldn't have been a penalty. And what if they would have just left it for the league to decide and Eakin just stays in the game and they don't ever get the power play? Like, it's just, I don't know.
They need, I think, yes, robotic officiating is not going to happen. There's no way it could happen in NHL, but I think that this playoff definitely show that they need to reevaluate what is and what isn't reviewable.
Not only that, I know there's a lot of great refs out there, but I think they need to bring the refs in and just kind of sit them down and talk with them about what they should.
Here's what's acceptable and here's not.
It's almost going to be like this is going to be part of the CBA like negotiation. Like probably reviews going to probably have to be something in there. I guarantee you. I think the players are sick of this too. Like,
yeah,
you got to realize that these are people, and it's the fastest fucking game that you can play. Like, it's the fastest team sport you can fucking play. And
100%.
So fucking fast. And everybody freaks out when something's missed, but it's like you're getting a chance to like always see these replays, and they're always slowed down, and they're not like in that heat of the moment where it's also you're not just watching from afar, it's right in front of you, and if something happens out of your peripheral, like, you might miss it. Like,
and not only that, you're trying to protect yourself because these guys are fucking flying around not paying attention to where you're at. Like, yeah,
you're supposed to not even be there. Like, that's how you're supposed to be. Like,
yeah,
like there's times
it's hard. They have a fucking tough job, man.
There's times
like
in beer league
yourself completely available, but like completely like
irrelevant. Yeah.
There's like times in beer league where stuff happens and I'm like, what the hell happened? And that's beer league. I can't imagine what it is with the best of the best playing this game, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
Well,
go ahead, Poets.
Well, I was going to say, and let's be honest, the one robotic referee that we've seen in NHL, which is in the video games, that thing fucking sucks.
Yeah. I got a quick question.
Okay.
Does Jumbo return for another year?
I would think so.
I don't know. Did you guys see his press conference?
No.
He was kind of torn up. It didn't seem like he had it in his plans. Then again, he didn't have it in his plans last year either.
No, last year he did. He was just kind of waiting and see with Tavares about how much he was going to sign for.
That's right.
Sign in San Jose, yeah.
Okay, so here's a counter question to that. Does he play in San Jose next year, or does he try cup chasing?
If he doesn't...
I don't know that he...
If he signs a contract, it's going to be in San Jose. Doug Wilson said that he can sign one-year deals for as long as he wants to.
I also think that maybe he waits to see what the team does.
What if he pulled a what's his name? In Nashville, married to Carrie Underwood.
Oh, Fisher?
What if he pulls a Fisher and comes in halfway through the year?
Sees where they're at?
Yeah.
Might be a bit tougher for Joe, though, because he's much older than Fisher was when he did that. It could put a little bit more on his body than anything.
Yeah, but I mean, that way he can rest, make sure his body's ready to go, take the whole summer off, and then once the season starts, start training again, and then by the playoffs, he's 100%, his body's ready to go, and then you can throw him in a fourth-line role, too, just to make sure he's capable of doing a playoff run for you guys.
Maybe.
That's an idea.
Interesting. I'm sure we'll see.
I can't wait for free agency. I'm so fucking pumped for the offseason.
Can't wait for the draft.
Yeah.
Draft.
Something the Hawks can actually do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, fellas, that was a good one. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. That was episode number 59, the Klinkhammer 2.0.
The legend.
Sorry for all my rants, like normal.
Well,
I love your rants.
Makes it worth it.
Thanks, guys. I need to talk to somebody about all this stuff. Otherwise, I just go insane.
Yeah. Go insane. Not already. Okay.
What?
Oh, yeah. So for Poets, Nolly, Tanner, and Jarom, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Adios, amigos.
Love you.
One love.
Follow the boys on Twitter at WCBPodcast, on Instagram at WCBPodcast, and like them on Facebook, the Windy City Benders Podcast.